Greetings, YouTube. So apparently a new tactic being used by some corporations when it comes to receiving applications for jobs is to request either a photo or a video clip where they could ask a question like, so tell us about yourself, or, where do you see yourself, that kind of thing. That's illegal because that is a tool of discrimination. Because if you send in a picture or a video, they can just take a look at you and decide, that's a black person. Or that person looks like they may be trans. Or did you see the setting that they're in? That person just isn't the kind of person we want working for our company. And those are all tools of discrimination. So if a company tries that stuff, report it to a labor board. Because that right there is not kosher. You should not have to do that. And it is no different than people asking questions about, tell me, are you married? None of their business. Do you have kids? None of their business. Do you have reliable transportation? Just say yes, whether you do or not, because they're trying to weed out folks who don't have a lot of money. If they ask you about political affiliation or religious affiliation, no, 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 no. Or do you plan on having kids? No, 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 no. All these things are methods they use to weed out candidates that they don't want to have working for them because they feel that that person might in some way, shape, or form either cost them money directly or indirectly because, say, they don't have reliable transportation, so the person doesn't show up on time. That costs them indirectly because they don't have the manpower. Of course, they're probably also understaffing them, as companies like to do, and then run folks ragged, and so to the point where then employees have to take time off because they get sick, which then just overloads the rest of the employees who are now having to take up this. Yeah, you get and then companies fail and they can't seem to figure out why. But yeah, if a company asks you for a photo or a video, say no and report them, or just report them flat out, because they deserve to suffer for their discriminatory practices, because there is no other reason to ask that question. There just isn't. That making that request is not a thing they need to know. They don't need to know what you look like. We know for a fact in the real world that these types of tactics have been used to discriminate people in the past. A good example was a black family was trying to sell their home. They had an assessment done, and they thought it was below what their home should be worth. So they stripped their house of all identifiers that the people that lived there were black, and then they had a white person give the tour of their house and got a second assessment. And the second assessment was $300,000 more, because the person doing the assessment could not tell immediately that it was owned by a black person. Same property. The property doesn't care about the level of melanin in your skin. I know this another example where someone wasn't getting callbacks. They were sending out resumes. They weren't getting callbacks, and they had been using their proper first name, which is Jose, Jose. So they dropped the S. So from Jose to Joe. And suddenly, they got callbacks. Same resume. The only difference is that it went from Jose to Joe. In fact, in the United States, a black person who has no criminal record, has never had any run-in with law enforcement, the legal system, has never been arrested for anything, has never served time, is less likely to get a callback than a white person who is a convicted felon. So yeah, let's not make their job any easier than it already is to discriminate against people. So don't send a picture, don't send a video, and report their ass.